I developed a very strong work ethic. I never missed a day of work, and I wanted to focus on getting out of the rat race. At 20 years old, I was thinking to myself that I wanted to be retired at the age of 40. And to my family, that sounded ludicrous. It was unachievable. You couldn't get it. You couldn't obtain that. So submit to the working grind like everyone else does. And that created a sense of anxiety in me to the degree where I was not going to relent until I got myself to the position where I wasn't going to have to work for money. Because I felt working for money was a stupid waste of my time, it was a waste of my energy, and there was a lot better things to be doing than to go to work for someone else. They're never going to appreciate you, not to the degree they should, or that you would want them to. So basically, to have a job or go out into the workforce is rather stupid. So now I know some people are going to scoff at that and say, well, everyone needs to work, they have to have a job, they have to the ends meet, if you will. And I agree. But that's not a destination. Now, unfortunately, most people create that as their final destination because of procrastination, fear of failure, failure to observe the realities of having the resources, whether you accept the fact that you do or don't. Everyone has resources. There's absolutely zero excuses why within 10 years anyone can retire. Now, I'm not saying that you are going to retire a multi-millionaire, but you could certainly find a way to replace your current income. Now, if you could do that, think about it. Isn't that really the definition of being rich? Now, I'm not saying super wealthy in elite status, but to be rich is you're not working for money anymore. So if you find a way to replace your current income, even if it never goes up, if you just made ends meet, that's rich. Now, some of you would disagree with that because your definition of rich or wealthy or affluent is going to vary from mine. But I'm telling you from a storyline, this is how I came up from this. I came from a very, very modest upbringing, very modest start. So it was a 20-year plan for me. Now, for most of you, you won't subscribe to that. 20 years is too long. Sorry, let me go to the next video. Let me go to another YouTube mentor. Let me see who's selling the system. Okay, give me a process of, give me in 1, 2, 3, give me the profits and wash, rinse, repeat. I never really subscribed to that very long, initially because everyone's baptized in the same way with trading. It's indicators and buy and sell and this, that, and everything. But I found quickly that that wasn't the way to do it. And because I'm a very analytical person, I have a very technical approach to things. I'm methodical in a lot of ways, and I've always been that way. So if someone speaks to me, I'm always analyzing what's their alternative motive. What's their ulterior motive? And maybe there isn't one, but I'm always thinking that. I'm always trying to decipher, get to the root cause of problems, because that's where the solution resides. In the American society, we're trained to accept the problem and just grind through it. I don't subscribe to that view. I subscribe to the fact that there is an alternative solution to our present condition that is working too much for too little. So I had to submit to a long-term process because I had readily admitted that my aptitude for it was probably going to be insufficient. So therefore, I allowed myself up to the age of 40 years old before I would really consider myself proficient, success, whatever. Okay, so I was already building in a far and wide definition of success, and I gave it a long-term deadline. Now, if you're living with your folks, or if you're living with family members, or if you're living with a person that you don't really want to be with, but because of necessity you have to be there, that is many times a very toxic environment. And when I began trading, I kept it quiet. I didn't tell anybody what I was doing because I already knew what the answer was going to be. You should be here for one reason only: to learn how to make money. That's it. If a secondary supporting reason is that you want to be amongst other people that are doing what you're doing and see their growth, see their concerns, see the barriers, the speed bumps that they have to go through. So that way it reminds you that it's not just you that's going through it. It's everyone goes through this same. I went through it. And most, like everything else I've ever taught, there's going to be this point in which when you're listening to me or watching me do executions or talking about what the market's going to do, you'll have selective hearing because you're coming to me with your preconceived notions about what it is that you need. So you think you need to know this or that, and then you'll be understanding better when you're sitting down in front of the charts live. And that is an illusion. I felt that way as a young man. I felt that, all I had to do was read a few books and I'd figure it out. Not knowing that I was going to be a huge barrier like you are and like everybody else that does this. That 7-pound universe that's in between your ears, that brain, has a wonderful, ability to present distractions or reasons not to do certain things or follow rules. And I talked about a mindset that many people have but won't admit to it. And the ones that try to resist it while learning how to trade, they're not going to be successful. And that trait is needing to be right. Every day before you sit down and watch a video of mine or sit down and listen to these types of discussions, which are all psychological, it's to prepare your mind. Okay, it's to prepare you with your mindset about what it is that you're doing, recalibrating yourself. You're not here to make me a celebrity. I don't want to be a celebrity. I don't want to be looked up to in high regard like some of you want me to be. I don't want that. You are here to learn how to make money. I have that ability to share with you how to find multiple ways of doing that in the marketplace. But most of you are trying to do that metal detector guy on the beach. He's looking for someone that lost some coins, or maybe they lost their wedding band. And how many times does he really find something like that? Probably not all that often. But he knows that what if he does? It pays for all the times they was out there plundering around through the sand. But in his mind, he's out there getting some sun. He loves what he's doing. He has submitted himself to the process. And if it happens that he finds something, well, that's all the better. But he enjoys doing what he's doing. Do you enjoy doing this? I saw a tweet this morning from a person saying, I hate this. I hate doing this. And I don't know if I should quit. The fact that you sat down and tweeted that, you have branded that on your soul. Your very spirit now has that very thing attached to it. And you have no idea the difficulty that you're going to have to work beyond that. When you vocalize, okay, because in the tongue there's power, okay, it's the power of giving life and taking life. Life and death is in the power of your tongue. I can say to you, you are one of my best students. You are so good at what you've done. You've done so well training and listening and following all the rules. And if I was to say that to you, you would feel empowered. Oh, it's awesome. ICT said that about me, man. It's great. I feel so good. Or if I sat down with one of you and said, look at you. You are a waste of a student. You've done nothing correctly. You've literally wasted your time, and you don't do anything right. It's all your fault. So be miserable, stay in that state of mind. I don't want to waste my time on you. Wow, nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. I don't talk to my students like that. What I do is I show them what they're doing incorrectly, so that way they can correct themselves. If you were off course in a ship, one small little degree off early on in your development or your course of departure, you're leaving your port of departure, heading towards some destination. If that ship is off 1 degree, just 1 degree over the course of your entire journey, you will not arrive on time. You might be able to calibrate later on in the middle of the journey when you discover that you're on the wrong path. But why would you want to do that? Keep your bearings. Know exactly where you're here, what you're here for, why you're here. It's to learn how to make money, how to read these charts, get that skill set. If you don't focus on that and let that be your number one driving reason for being here, you'll get distracted with other things. You won't be that diligent about your study. You'll let the drama, the pain, the discomfort of the process that everybody has to go through, you want it to be faster. And the more you want it to be faster,